minute. Let me just put this on record. That's really the setting the goals and setting the accountabilities. Now, you want to strive to aim high all the time. Set smart goals. Use goals as a category, okay? So my category of business goals, my category of personal goals. And then building the accountability. How do you build accountability is one, we have agents. We have about 300 agents in our office. Find someone that you can and feel comfortable with and say, hey, let's be accountability partners. The accountability partners really help one another. Part of my role as a team leader is I have team leaders that hold me accountable. I have a coach that holds me accountable. I have a market center that holds me accountable. And then obviously you, my agents that hold me accountable. I show up because I want to be part of this organization, part of your team, okay? And then also creating your 411. If you are part of Sonia's productivity coaching, I know she's probably stressed or emphasized the 411 elements, right? Putting things into perspective, right? How many have done your 411? Any of you? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Yona. So your 411 is, again, one of the key components to time management. And then implementing your 411. Okay, what does that mean? Well, time blocking, maximizing your productivity. Okay, are you being very proactive in your daily schedule? Because once you time block, then it's set, it's there. You committed to that time block, and that can be business and or personal. Meaning, if you want, as part of your goals this year, is to go on vacation, and your goal is to go on vacation in the summer, and let's say that it's in July, are you putting it on the calendar? Are you time blocking your time for pleasure, your time for leisure? Because if it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. That's simple. So put it on the calendar. At least you have something where you can tangibly feel it, see it, visualize it, and as it gets closer to that time frame, you got to take the action. Because if you're committed to go on vacation, it's on your calendar, there's no alterations, you're committed to it. If your goal is to do 4 transactions by June, 4 transactions by June, that's 6 months to get the momentum to close 1 transaction, 2 transactions, 3, and then finally 4. And June comes and you have only done 1 transaction. Well, you're behind, right? So you really got to amp up your production, ramp up your position, because that's what's going to get you to your expectations for the following 6 months. Because if your goal was to do 6 transactions by June, that's 1 transaction per month. Guess what? You're behind. What do we need to do? We need to double up. We may have to triple up in our production, going out there and finding more business. Now, this is a contact sport, ladies and gentlemen, meaning that the more connections, the more opportunity. The more connections, the more opportunity, okay? And then putting it all together. What is all that? If you're putting, you're gaining the perspective of taking control, setting your goals and your accountability, creating your 411, implementing your 411, and then putting it all together, then you have that millionaire energy business mindset and taking the action plan. And that's the whole avenue of today's topic. Okay, why are you here? The objective of time management is to really implement the 411, which Keller Williams has provided. If you don't have the form, you can download the form on KW Connect, and you should just type in 411 and you'll be able to pull up your form. So that way you can really fine tune what your goals and your expectations, but also your time management. To focus on your top 20% of what's more important in your life, okay? Now, going back to what I said earlier about being disciplined, right? Discipline can sometimes be difficult and challenging. You know, discipline in my goal to lose weight, discipline to stop coffee, discipline to stop or reduce sugar intake, discipline to drink more water, discipline to stop drinking so much soda, discipline to stop smoking. I mean, there's so many different beliefs and avenues in how you can see discipline. You know, discipline that I'm going to do 50 sit-ups or crunches. And that's a commitment, you know, and in being committed to that and doing it in a consistent basis. Guess what? Real estate is the same thing. Because if you're not interacting and involved in your real estate business, you're not going to see anything out of it. I hate to say it. And this is where the transparency and the authentic me comes out, because I want each and every one of you to be successful. I want you to see the fruits of your hard work, labor, and the commitment that you have for real estate. Let's just go back to before you got your real estate license and ask that question, why? Why did you get your real estate license? Okay, and this is where I'm going to ask for participation. I'm going to start with Sarah. Sarah, what was the reason you got your real estate license?
Why?
Very simple.
So it's to be in this business, to be in real estate business, and which I've been interested for years and years, but I didn't have the opportunity. So I know that's why I got into real estate business.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Same question to Max. Max, why did you get a real estate license?
I wanted to make lots of money. It honestly looked really fun to me. Something that was really social, like a social job. I'd be meeting tons of people, and I want to help my parents with their properties and kind of grow their portfolio.
Love it. Thank you, Max. I love the mere fact that you're just open and honest, Max, and thank you for sharing. You know, yeah, because I'm going to share my reason of why I got my real estate license. Debbie, what was the reason you got your real estate license?
I got my real estate license. I was working. I had a full-time job, but I wanted to work part-time there, and I thought that the real estate would supplement the income. Well, since COVID, that business is no more. So I don't have that job now, thrown first full-time into real estate. So actually it was to supplement my income, but now it's going to be all I have. So
okay. So you got to definitely take this very serious and start making some money. Okay.
Yeah, it really changed. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing. Yona, why did you get your real estate license?
Hi, everybody. So yes, number one, I was excited to make a lot of money as much as possible, like if you're a good realtor. Number two, I always want to work for myself, but no one else. So it was really attracting for me because like you do have your own schedules and everything. And that's why this was my dream job.
Love it. Thank you, Yona. Thank you for sharing. Phenomenal. And last but not least, Blanca, why did you get your real estate license?
Well, I was in the mortgage business for over 20 years as a loan processor. And
Nice.
so worked many hours, especially during month end, and which I didn't mind. But I wanted to have more freedom to pick up my hours, but make money at the same time. But I love to help people as well. And when you work in the bank business, it's like you put the puzzle together for the people qualify for the loan. And then I thought, I think there's a lot of opportunity in real estate, and why not try it? Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Blanca, for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. Phenomenal. We all got our real estate license for our own personal goals. I'll share with mine. For me, when I got my real estate license, I have to agree with Max. I saw the potential of how much money you can make in real estate. I had a friend who was a little older than me, but he was in real estate, and I remember him showing me his commission check, and this is again back in the early '90s, and it's like, wow, you did this selling one house, and you make this much? He goes, yeah. And that's when it used to be the norm to charge 6% commission, full pop 6%. And I was just blown away. Now, I didn't get my real estate license that year. It literally took me probably 7 years later. This was early 92, 93. And he had already been in real estate since the mid 80s. And yeah, when I saw that commission check, and I was like, wow, taken back. Now, my backstory is a whole lot different on why I got my real estate license, but that was one of the trigger points that ultimately pushed me to get my real estate license, because one, like Yona said, is the flexibility to be independent. It's the flexibility to set my own standards, my own time frame. You're an independent entrepreneur. You're a CEO of your own real estate organization. And the opportunity is endless. Whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. If you want to make a 6-figure income, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's there for you. If you want to make a 7-figure income, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's there for you. If you want to buy multiple units, single family residence, duplex, triplex, fourplex, or eventually commercial, 20, 30 units, guess what? You can do it with the power and leverage of real estate sales. So here's the fundamentals. In order for you to supplement your needs and wants, you have to be a phenomenal real estate salesperson. Okay, meaning to supply the necessary monetary position is be an efficient, be a professional in closed transactions, because that will leverage you to be able to buy investments. Because for all of us, there's going to be a point in time that we're going to think about our exit strategy, meaning, when is it that you're going to give up and you have already leveraged yourself through real estate? When is it that you're going to say, okay, I think I'm good. I've made a successful career in real estate, but I think I'm ready to retire from it. How does that look? How does that look for a lot of us, 30, 40, 50 years from now? Okay. I know where my expectations are. I want to be able to leverage myself by passive income, by streams of income from real estate investments, okay? Because that's a sure avenue that there's going to be guaranteed money on a monthly basis if you do it right, if you plan it well. And the beauty is I've seen it firsthand. with the most successful people that have bought real estate, held real estate, and have made so much money. Because in real estate, there's a couple factors to this, and I want you to understand this. It's not just the leverage of the income that you're getting on a monthly basis, but it's also a couple other components. One is the appreciation. Two is the reduction of the mortgage payment that you are not making the payment. You're using other people as leverage to pay your mortgage payment. And what does that do? It reduces the obligations. Eventually, that loan, if you do it right, will be zero, meaning you don't have a mortgage anymore. And that's where we all strive. If you think about your parents, if they invested wisely, and 30 years later, they have a property that's maybe free and clear. And for a lot of us, real estate is an avenue of how we can save money, because let's be honest and transparent. If you think that you can save $5 or $1 million in the next 20 or 25 years, and a lot of us can probably say no to that. But this is where you have tangible assets that can help you get to that level. One is you use tenants in place to pay your mortgage, and eventually the appreciation. You buy it for $500,000, 20 years from now, it may be worth $1.5 million, okay? And that's gonna be your retirement. That's gonna be your income, because we cannot rely sometimes in Social Security. And for me, and I don't remember, I think it was Blanca who said, if it was Blanca, yeah, I think it was Blanca, she had another job. I started in a full-time job. I used to work for the County of Los Angeles. And if it wasn't for a injury, I probably would have retired from the County of Los Angeles, and still would have done real estate part-time, because I knew and I wanted to have a real estate license. But that altered, and that ultimately put me in a different position, which now, I'm in leadership, and I'm having fun. I'm excited. I love what I do. And for all of us on this call, this is the beauty, is the knowledge that you'll have is the ability to understand the components of running analysis of investments. You buy, you hold, you buy and flip. But here's the component of what time management really comes to, is you can be an efficient real estate agent helping buyers, sellers, and investors, but you can also be an investor as well, if you know how to time block your schedule. And a lot of our agents do that. They're phenomenal at what they do. They help and connect buyers, sellers, open escrow, close, get commissions, but they use some of that commission to buy investment properties. Buy investment properties to fix and then turn around and sell for a profit. Or some just make sense just to hold on to it. Use it as an investment for the purpose of leverage 10, 15 years from now. Whatever avenue, whatever obstacles, I have to say that real estate is what has helped many people become millionaires, okay? And for a lot of us, you think, well, millionaire is something that is not tangible. I cannot see it. Well, maybe not monetary, but through assets, okay? You have 2 investment properties right now, you're probably a multimillionaire already, because properties, especially in the South Bay, on average are anywhere from 600 to 700,000. You have 2 of that puts you like around 1.3 million in assets, tangible, physical. You can touch it, you can feel it. And that's how you become successful in the leverage of real estate. So real estate has always been and will continue to always be a good source of revenue if you know how to play the game, okay? Play the game. And how do you play that game is, well, you got to be a good agent. You got to sell. Once you sell and you start bringing in income, that's what ultimately is going to get you to where you need to be, okay? So let's focus on what matters, the importance of the big rocks and the power of moving your E to P. Okay, there is a pattern of prediction and an imbalance in your life, and that's where a lot of people have that 80-20 mindset or rule. So there's two components to that. There is action and there's results. There's action and there's results. The action is 20%, 80%. The results is 80% and 20%. Which category do you want to be? And that's all on you. It's how you portray and how you see things. Neither or doesn't really matter, because the action is what's necessary, but also the action leads to the results. But if you flip it from 80 to 20 or 20 to 80, it's still the same components, because any momentum that you're doing on a daily basis, ladies and gentlemen, will get you closer to whatever your goals and your expectation is. It's like waking up. It's like, what does your day look like? What is your expectations today, this week, this weekend, this month, this quarter, this year? Okay, you got to set those parameters in place and really have a balance of what you want to see. Because again, real estate is a disciplined business that you really need to anchor yourself to really see the end results. Okay, so why don't more people live by that 80-20 principle? Well, it's the motivation. A lot of people are comfortable on their regular jobs. Okay, meaning they're fine doing a 9 to 5, making $40,000-$50,000, and no interruptions in their life, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. You are different. Each and every one on this call is different. Why? Is because you want to break through that barrier and really leverage that real estate license. It was a commitment. The commitment to go to school, take your curriculum, get your certifications, go through the initial process, take your real estate state exam, pass it, get a license, find a real estate company that's a good fit for you, take the necessary training, education, and guidance, and now start making money. You are different. Each and every one on this call is different, and everyone in this organization is different, and different in a good way. Meaning is you want to exceed, you want to make more money. You really want to know what that real estate license, that DRE license is all about. But it comes back to your commitment, your 80-20 rule or your 20-80 rule, okay? It doesn't matter if you have it either or. The question here is, what's your commitment? What are you planning to do? What is your expectations? How does everything look like? Are you putting things into perspective? Are you doing the necessary activities? Okay, are you prospecting? Are you lead generating? Are you asking for business? Okay, that's very simple. It's very simple to do. Is, hey Max, it's been a while. Happy New Year's to you. I hope this year brings you prosperity, enjoyment, and money. By the way, I'm with Keller Williams, and who do you know that I can help this year, this month? And go with that perspective. Guess what? Max is going to say, you know what? I don't have anyone at the moment, but if I hear of anyone that wants to buy, sell, or invest, I'll let you know. Max, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. In return, if you do provide me with someone, I'll definitely take care of you, and I'll give you, a gift for that. A gift can be a gift card. Remember, the commissions that you make will definitely give the perspective of, your commitment to that person that gave you that potential lead. What if that person such as Max gave me a lead for a $1 million listing. I'm going to really take care of him because guess what? I want him to be my pillar. I want him to be my eyes and ears out there with anyone else because I'm using my momentum, my ability to really pour into my connections. And Max is going to be my connection because, if he was able to provide me with one, he can most definitely provide me with more. But I have to ask, I have to be committed, I have to be engaged in these conversations. And that's where you're going to start seeing the infrastructure of your organization roadmap of your business. Because all of us have what it takes. Okay. If you have a real estate license, you already have what it takes. Now it's just taking the implement action for it. Okay. Any questions so far? Any thoughts?
Simon, hi. I have a quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned something like when you saw the check of your friend before when you started it, you said something like 6% commission was normal that time. Has that changed? Like right now, is it like less normal?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Yona. So, no, it hasn't changed. And the reason it hasn't changed is back then it was the standard. It was the standard. Now, with so many discount brokerages out there, it's making it a little bit more challenging to collect a 6% commission. Now, bear in mind, folks, when I say 6% is 6% on a split, meaning if you're the list side or the buy side, you're going to get half of that commission. So when I say 6% was the standard, meaning is you would list the property for 6%, and if you were inputting it into the multiple listing service, then you would give a cooperating broker 3% of that commission, so a total of 3 and 3. Now with so many discount brokerages, it's making it a little bit more challenging, and sellers are being more sophisticated. Why? The power of technology. They can do their own research, they can see. And now with so much competition out there, now they can also use that as leverage. So for example, let's say, Yona, that you're the seller and you're interviewing real estate agents to sell your home. And I and Max are competitors, and we're out there trying to earn your business and help you list your home. And one of your strategy is, what is your commission going to be like? Okay. Now it's all about how you approach the conversation and how do you approach an objection, because that is an objection. An objection from Yona saying, well, what do you charge? Well, I would use a platform. I would use my position of saying is, what is your net worth? What are you worth? Okay, I know what I'm worth. With the years of experience, my knowledge, I know what I'm worth. And I always strive to get what I call a full commission. And what's a full commission? Well, typically 3% of the sales or the list price. So I would approach that, Yona, and saying, that's a very good question, Yona. What I charge is 3% of the list side. The question here, Yona, is what are we going to offer the buyer's agent, who sometimes will bring the buyer and the offer to you? What do you want to charge? The average commission is 3% or 2.5%. So I use that platform and I use that leverage in having the conversation, because what I'm doing is I'm securing my listing commission already. Because if you just throw, well, I charge 6%, and the mindset to a lot of sellers is, oh my gosh, 6%, that's a lot of money. And if you do the arithmetic on it, on $1 million purchase price or list price, that's $60,000. So your approach and your ability to know how to handle objections is what makes you better. That's what makes the top agents better, because they practice their objections. And it all depends on how you lay out your presentation as well, because your presentation is what's going to either allow you to get that listing signed, or they're going to think about it and maybe go in a different direction. So in the past, that used to be the norm. That's what we used to charge, and it was fine. The sellers were fine. Now, 20-something years ago, remember, price points were a lot different too. So agents were not making the money that agents make now. And guess what? 20 years from now, that may change too, because appreciation, inflation will probably go up in real estate. What you can buy now in South Torrance, 900, maybe 1.2 10 years from now, 15 years from now, okay? And now the commission obviously is going to be looked upon as a conversation and an objection. So, just keep that in mind, but also remember that the contract says that the commission is all negotiable, okay? There's no standard. There's no standard of what you can charge a seller. Meaning, if you want to charge 10% and the seller is good with that, guess what? Your commission is 10%. There's no set boundaries when it comes to your commission, folks, okay? And it's strictly on the contract. It says there, all commissions are negotiable. What does that mean? Well, if the seller is smart enough, they said, well, if it's negotiable, I'm going to try to negotiate that commission. But guess what? You as a real estate agent also can negotiate and set your standards of what you should be compensated for. I'll give you an example. You get involved in a car accident, and now you have injuries. Your vehicle has damages, and now you go and seek an attorney. And you want an attorney that's aggressive. You want an attorney that's going to fight for your rights, and an attorney to pay your medical expenses, your vehicle, and maybe some time off from not working. You want, obviously, a professional, aggressive attorney. When you sign an agreement that appoints a particular injury attorney, you think that they negotiate their commission split? They don't. Their average split is about 35 to 40% of whatever they get from the claim. 35 to 40% is what they get. On top of that, if they have to do any paperwork, go to court, all that is an additional to that 40%. Meaning if there is $10,000 of court fees, documentations, meetings and all that, that's on the side note. That's extra that comes out of the proceeds. They're locked into their 35, 40% already. Try to negotiate with an attorney on that. They're going to say, take a hike. That's non-negotiable. Again, in our industry, it's a very competitive industry, and you gotta see everything. Okay, you cannot be set in stone. You have to have some flexibility, because when you're too stern in your position, you may lose the opportunity. So you have to look at the bigger picture, meaning sometimes you just got to bend a little bit in order for you to earn and get that listing, because even if you reduce your commission, but you're also representing the seller on their next purchase, you'll make up the difference there. Does that make sense? Or the seller may have other assets that eventually they'll sell, and they're going to use you because you bend a little bit. That's the flexibility. Now, Keller Williams is not a discount brokerage. I'm putting that disclaimer, anything less than 5% must be approved by the team leader. But this is where I coach you and I guide you in the ability to really understand how to have that conversation with the seller. And I always play the good cop, bad cop scenario. Throw me under the bus, saying, you know, that's a very good question. Let me get back to you. I have to get team leader or office approval. Now you just threw the company and the team leader under the bus as an avenue to kind of give you that time frame to get back and handle that objection. So leverage yourself through that perspective. I hope, Yona, that I was able to answer your question regarding that. So commissions is all negotiable. There's no set standards. What I meant to say back in the 90s, it was basically a given that 6% was always the amount. 6 or even sometimes a little higher. Okay. All right. So identifying your big rocks. The big rocks is the jar of your position, folks. The beauty is, you know, what's today? The 5th? The 5th of January, just 5 days into 2021, meaning that you still have plenty of time to hit your goals. If we were having this conversation in December and you're telling me, Simon, well, I want to do 3 transactions by the end of the year, that's going to be a very challenging time frame to close 3 deals. Not saying that you cannot do it, but that's also very tight as well. But saying that you want to do 3 transactions in your first 2 quarters of the year, meaning in the next 6 months, that's pretty tangible. That's something I can say, yeah, Max, you can definitely do that. Yeah, Debbie, yeah, Blanca, yeah, Yona, and Elise, yes, you can do those. Okay, so understanding your position, because again, here's the time frame to do so. This is the opportunity for all of you to do and exceed your goals, okay? If your goals are, and everyone's goals are gonna be different. My goals, your goals are gonna be different. Stick to it, don't alter, don't reroute, stay focused, stay in your lane and stay committed to it. And you know, if you're behind, that's okay. You can still catch up. But if you exceed that, congratulations. Now you can set the next expectations for the following quarter or the remainder of the year. Now, I'm a true believer you should have your 12-month projections, okay? Your 12-month projections. So what are your 12-month projections? Just how many units do you want to close? Is it 1 unit per month? That's 12 per year. Okay, phenomenal. How much GCI do you want to make? What do you want to earn? You want to do $150,000 in gross GCI so you can net 115? You can do this because obviously there's expenses, right? There's an expense to run a business. There's an expense to supplement taxes, pay your taxes, marketing, you know, and all the other business expenses that you incur as part of your business, okay? Yeah, if you want to net $150,000, that means you have to push for $180,000 because there may be, you know, $30,000 of expenses, okay? And that's how you run an efficient business. And that goes in any type of business, folks. It doesn't necessarily mean real estate. It can be restaurant, retail, sales, and vehicles, watches, clothing, anything, okay? You got to set those boundaries, you got to set those parameters in place, okay? All right, so the time management equals a couple segments, okay? The segments are your time equals your life, okay? Because I hate to say it, folks, we're not promised tomorrow, okay? We're not promised tomorrow. We cannot go back in time, meaning we don't have that DeLorean from Back to the Future, jump on that DeLorean and then go back and try to change and alter the now. We don't have that capability. I don't know, maybe 50 years or 100 years, they may invent something that you can go back in time. But, you know, let's be realistic. Let's be transparent. There is no time machine that you can go back and change things, because if there was, guess what? I would have done things a whole lot different, right? By this time, I should have been a billionaire, you know, because now you can go back in time, change the trajectory of how your life would have been, okay? But we don't. We only have the now. We're not promised tomorrow, okay? And again, I'm being very sincere. I'm being very transparent. You know, I think about Kobe Bryant. You know, his anniversary is coming up. I think he passed away in February of 2020 on that tragic helicopter incident out in Calabasas that ultimately killed not just Kobe, but his daughter, and then, you know, seven other people, you know, and children as well. Very tragic. But do you think that he woke up that day thinking, "Oh gosh, I'm going to be on a plane, or excuse me, in a helicopter accident"? No. You know, he retired as a phenomenal basketball player with Los Angeles Lakers. Won a series of 5 world championships, and, you know, phenomenal family man, businessman, and young. Retired at the age of 40, I believe, 39 or 40. You know, so he still had a long life to give, and that's what he wanted. And then, unfortunately, you know, the tragic accident that happened last year. So we have to live life to the fullest, folks. Okay, you gotta live life with energy, enthusiastic abilities. Always be happy, and live life with stress free. And I know it's tough. I know it's very tough. But, you know, if you can release some of the stress, that'll help you. And how is the abundance? And that's the beauty of real estate, is the abundance. Because if you go back to the time management of this curriculum, folks, and set those expectations and put it in your calendar and stay committed to it, my promise to you, you'll see the end results, the guarantee. That's the way you're going to strive in this industry. This is the commitment that you should have each and every day. The minute that you wake up is, okay, I got it on my calendar. This is what I plan to do. Today is, I'm going to hit 10 different people and ask for business. Today, I'm going to send out a campaign to 25 people. Today, I'm going to do a newsletter, send out a letter, connect with past colleagues or friends, or whatever the case may be, but staying dedicated and committed. The most successful real estate agents do it on a daily basis, and they don't alter that. They know what they need to do, and this is why they see the results that they see. All I'm saying is, you got to stay committed to that. So time equals life. Therefore, waste your time and waste your life, okay? Or master your time and master your life. I'm going to repeat this. Time equals life. Therefore, waste your time and waste your life. Or master your time and master your life. Very simple, okay? Now, can we all master any part of our life? Yeah, you know, you can. And it goes back to the discipline, right? If you're disciplined, if your goal is to get in the best shape of your life, and I want to admit to that, I have to get in better shape as well, you know, and that's one of my challenges and my struggles is, you know, because I work, I don't have a set schedule in how I manage my food. But now this year, I set my goals that I would meal prep. So, you know, having almonds and chips on a little container, okay? You know, meal prepping a salad. This is something that I did on Sunday, and I have these little containers in my refrigerator, and just trying to stay committed to eating healthier and eating smaller portions, and you know, and just getting back to shape. You know, for the majority of my adult life, I've always been pretty well fit, and it's just these last maybe several years that I kind of let go. And again, I'm being transparent, I'm being open, and I'm being my authentic self, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, you know, because again, all of us have our strengths and all of us have our weaknesses, okay? We all have them, everyone. Your mega agents, your celebrities, and all of us have some. Some are better at it, hide it better, but we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. And we just got to identify it and take the necessary approach. But I like what the author said about time equals life, and therefore wasting your time and wasting your life, or mastering your time and mastering your life. It's just such a phenomenal bullet point there, and really just seeing the perspective to it. All right, so let's, and I apologize, guys. Someone should have told me to take a 3-minute break. So it's, I believe, 11:14. So let's take a 3-minute break. If you need to go to the bathroom, make some calls, follow up with some text messages, do so. Be back in 11:17. Okay, let's do this. Now let's talk about changing how you operate, okay, as part of your time block, or time management, I should say. Change your operations. Moving from E to P, okay? Has everyone heard the phrase E to P, which is entrepreneurial style to purposeful style? Okay, that's what E to P means, is having the mindset of an entrepreneur, but ultimately being an entrepreneur, you got to be purposeful on your daily habits. Okay, that's the operations of the E to P, because all of us are already entrepreneurs. Once you got your real estate license, once you hung your real estate license at a brokerage, you're a entrepreneur. But the question is the purposeful of your operations, your style and how you do it, is the level of what we call the E to P. And how do we illustrate that is very, very simple. Is the fundamental ceiling of achievements, okay, is like the wall here, right? And ultimately, as you're navigating in your business, there's going to be a time when you hit that block, that roadblock, that wall. But how do you break those boundaries? How do you become a learning-based master? Is through training, coaching, and consulting. Okay, that's simple. Because the E, which is the entrepreneurial style, is doing what comes naturally, right? You got a real estate license. I know that I have the ability to now, you know, do sales, get a commission. And, you know, the entrepreneur style is a couple of formulas. And those formulas is the drive, the enthusiasm, the initiative, the natural behavior, and the spontaneous of why you're an entrepreneur. Those are the elements that are what we call the E to it. You know, and then obviously, as I mentioned, the fundamentals of the ceiling is when you hit those roadblocks, right? And we've all been through those challenges. I know I've been through those challenges where I hit obstacles, challenges, frustration, disappointment, anger, fear, you name it. Those are what we call the fundamental ceilings, okay? But how do we break through that and get through that momentum? Because we're all going to go through it. We all do, okay? And that's, you know, the disappointments, the rejections, right? The pressure and the anxiety that sometimes we get as entrepreneurs, okay? Because you are the driver of your own business, folks, okay? You are the leader. You are your own moving Lamborghini Ferrari, okay? You are the one that needs that momentum to get to what your goals and your expectations are. No one else is going to do it. That's the whole purpose of why you're a entrepreneur, is because you want to be self-sufficient and run your business how you want to see it. And, you know, Keller Williams, as I mentioned, gives you the necessary tools. But that's really the cycle, okay? In the beginning, folks, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging, but you got to continue pressing forward. Every single day, continue pressing forward, because once you break that ceiling, then the achievement comes into play. And how do you break that wall and break into and then take your business to that next level is going back to the three dynamics: training, coaching, and consulting, okay? Those are the three components that break through those barriers. Because again, understanding real estate contracts, understanding objection handlers, understanding negotiations, which are the three major essentials that you need in order for you to be an efficient entrepreneur. Then ultimately, once you get through those fundamental formulas, then is the purposeful style. Is okay, now I'm in that entrepreneurial style. I'm ready, I'm ninja ready, right? Now, what is the next level? Okay, it's being purposeful. Okay, it's staying dedicated and committed, right? It's staying focused. It's having strategies and options. It's having models in place. It's having systems in place, and it's having accountability. Okay, I'll repeat this again, folks, because this is important. I want you to really anchor yourself on these formulas, because this is what's going to drive you to success, or it's going to stop you and you're going to go back. Okay, you're going to make a U-turn. You're going to say, well, shoot, this is not for me. I don't want to do this. Maybe real estate is not for me. Okay, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, because once you break that barrier, you're going to see the phenomenal results, and you're going to get super excited, because now you're going to want more and more and more and more. As I mentioned early in our lecture, I said, you know, one of our agents did a $80,000 commission. He represented the seller and also represented the buyer. And the commission that he got was 2 checks, one for $39,500 and another check for $39,500, which is a total of $80,000. One transaction, 30 days in escrow, gave him $80,000. Okay, who wants to be in that position? All of us, right? I hope you say yes to it, because you can. The process is always going to be the same. The level of conversation may be a little different, but the initial process will be the same, ladies and gentlemen, meaning the listing agreements, the negotiations, the process will always be the same. What changes is the level of conversations, you know, when dealing on a 1.5 versus a $300,000 clientele, but the process will be the same. So you've got to go back to what we call the learning base position, higher and higher level of success. That's the only way you're going to get better and better and better, is the more transactions you do. The more seller conversations, the more listing appointments you go, the more listings you list, the more listings you input on the MLS, the more negotiations you do on offers. The more you do real estate, the better you're going to be, okay? And that's what sets you from your competitor. That's what sets you apart from someone that see things in a different perspective, meaning what we call the E2P, the entrepreneurial style and the purposeful style, okay? And going back to do what comes unnatural, okay? Because an entrepreneur, yeah, you can set your goals. Okay, I know I'm a driver, I'm enthusiastic, I'm in tune to what I want to do. I have natural behaviors that, you know, make me a phenomenal CEO. But here's where it really gets uncomfortable. It's the purposeful position to take you to that next level of your business, is being razor focused, okay, and going back to time blocking, knowing what your goals are, business and professional, your strategies to get to where you need to do, where you need to be, your models in place, okay? What are you modeling? What are you doing? Okay, follow people that have already achieved it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? The systems are in place, the models are in place, the contracts are there for you. All the tools that you need are in place for you. All you have to do is just follow the parameters of it and take the initiative action. And that's where the focus, the strategies, the models and systems and the accountability break through those barriers to get you where you need to be. And I need all of you to be committed to that, because that's where you're going to start seeing the results. That's where you're going to start seeing the avenues of string of income, okay? Because I want everyone on this call, okay? I want all of you to take the initiative, action, and stay committed to whatever your goals and your expectations when it comes to your business, okay? I don't know what each and everyone's business looks like, what they want in 2021, but we're going to discuss it, okay? Because again, by discussing it, you're holding yourself accountable to that commitment and ultimately achieving that, because when we have this conversation in December, we're going to say, well, Max, did you meet or exceed your expectations, your goals? Or did we fall short on our goals and commitment? Okay, because no one wants to be in a position, shoot, I fell short and I fell short big time. But you know, you get praised and you get excited and you get encouragement when you know you've capped with Keller Williams. You got your first listing, your second listing, your third, fourth, fifth listing. You get a buyer into escrow. Those are achievements, and those are excitement moments in our position, because you know, as I mentioned earlier, the agent that closed the $80,000 commission, you know, that's a motivation, that's a drive. That says to me, hey, you know what, if I was able to do this, you know, and it's the beginning of January, 5 days into it, I already have $80,000 per se. You know, you got 12 consecutive months to do more and do more and do more, okay? So keep that in mind. If you didn't write it down, E to P, entrepreneurial style versus purposeful style, okay? So let me ask this question, and this is part of the participation. We're going to go with units because that's the most measurable avenue and how we can approach our business, because we can say volume, you want to do a volume of X, Y, and Z, but units, it's more cohesive, it's more tangible, because we can say, okay, I'm going to do, 5 units, 10 units, 15 units. So my question to all of you on the call is, what is your goal for units that you want to close this year? So when I say units, I mean, listings and buy size. It doesn't matter. One closed transaction means 1 unit. So Max, we'll start with you, sir. How many units of sales do you want to do for 2021?
10.
Why 10?
Well, I'm kind of imagining me doing 1 transaction a month. It's already into January. I don't know exactly, but well, I have a guy who I'm gonna find a condo for him. That'll probably happen in next month. I'll probably finish up next month. I'm really gonna try and focus on that a lot for the rest of this month and February. So yeah, I'm thinking 10.
Very good. Well, 10 is definitely a good number. Now, Max, what are we going to do to achieve those 10?
I'm going to.
What are you going to do?
Really work on cold calling and my social media presence. I specifically really want to get comfortable 3 hours every morning cold calling. I'm going to, hopefully after this, if everything goes right and I find my buddy a condo, I'm going to use some of that money, put it towards a Mojo dialer to, really leverage my time for cold calling. Yep.
Very good, Max. Thank you for sharing. Debbie, how many units of sales do you want to do this year, 2021?
I'm looking at maybe 6.
Okay, 6. All right. And why 6?
It seems like an easier number for me.
Okay.
It gives me time to learn one sale at a time.
Okay.
And then next year, maybe I'll bump it up to 12.
Yeah, because again, just like Max said 10, just like you, Debbie, said 6, what if you exceed those expectations this year and one falls after another? Remember, folks, it's very easy to hit your goals, okay? And the reason I say that is because let's just say, for example, you focus most of your business on sellers, right? The seller eventually needs to find a place. So you may be representing the seller, but you may also be representing the seller who is now a buyer. That's 2 transactions right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it's a purchase or a lease, but it's still a unit. It's still a sale. Somehow you were able to sell and get paid a commission. So what you may think 6 or 10 is challenging may be not so difficult if you look at it from that perspective. Or even your seller, you did such a phenomenal job that they now are referring you to their family, their friends. Gosh, Debbie did such a phenomenal job selling our home here in Torrance. I highly recommend Debbie. You should reach out to her, or vice versa. Debbie, I know that my sister has been thinking about selling. Her husband is being relocated out of state. Maybe you can help them sell their home. Bam, you just got another sale right there, a guarantee. That's the beauty, is the leverage. So, if your commitment is doing those 6 transactions, stay dedicated to it. Don't lose focus on it, and just every single day that you're doing any type of real estate activity, stay committed to your goal, which is 6, or in Max's position, 10. So thank you for sharing, Debbie. Yona, how many units of sale do you want to do in 2021?
I'm gonna do 12.
12. I love it. Okay. So that's basically 1 transaction per month. You know,
Correct.
if you put it in perspective, or 12 transactions in 1 month. And that can happen. You never know. You never know. You may get so bombarded with so much business that you may be in escrow in 5 or 6 transactions simultaneously. You know, that's a good day. It's going to be stressful, but that's a good stress, okay? Because the end result is once you close these transactions, you know, you're looking at a pretty decent commission coming your way. So awesome, Yona. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. 12 is a good number. You know, when it comes, and I always ask, because real estate, you know, it's not a part-time, it's not a full-time, it's what you put into it. Because I know that there's agents that do this so-called part-time and do more business than so-called full-timers that are in it, you know, as a committed business full-time. So for me, it doesn't really matter as long as you're there doing some type of activity. So awesome. Thank you, Yona. Elise, how many units of sales do you want to do for 2021?
Yes, well, I really want to do 12. That's the same thing with Joanna. I think today's market, this is the right timing. For me, that's what I think, that a lot of people are really into the real estate or they're hurting. So a lot of people will be thinking of selling their houses, or they just, want to buy houses because this is the right timing for low interest rates and all those things that it's a big opportunity for everyone, sell or buy. So I believe that this is the right timing for me to do it, at least one each sale or, a buy. And what
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be more focused of doing a lot of texting, emails, calls, and
Beautiful.
advertising.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you, Elise. Thank you for sharing. That's definitely a good base to start the year. And guess what? If it's 12, if it's 6, if it's 10, it's still a good number. The goal would be obviously that you hit your target mark and you exceed that, right? You know, if Max says, yeah, I'm doing 10 this year, but wow, I just closed on 15 transactions. I just closed this year at 15. Debbie, you know, your commitment of doing 10, but shoot, to my surprise, I was able to do 16 transactions this year because you were so razor focused and you were committed to your business. Or like Yona and Elise said, 12 units this year, but my gosh, I was able to do 18 transactions, okay? Very easy, very tangible to do so as long as you stay dedicated, committed, and you time and manage your schedule, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about, off time, vacation. We're going to talk about, having time for yourself as well. And then time blocking even for date nights, with your significant other, your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, your girlfriends. All that should be on your calendar too. And we'll really dive in really deep into those conversations because that'll definitely give you a more systematic approach and a more handle on your business. Okay. So Blanca, last but not least, what is your commitment? How many units for 2021?
For me? Well, I want to do 12.
Beautiful. Okay. And the reason you want to do 12?
I believe that if I stay committed and focus on what my 20% is, that I know we're already in January. So I have a listing, but it's just funded today, so I can't count that one as for 2021.
Okay.
So I just think that knowing the numbers that I'm capable to do that 12.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Blanca, for sharing. I believe so. I believe that all your goals this year and your commitment to that is very tangible. Okay, these are very realistic, tangible goals. Here's the kicker: stay committed to that. Don't alter. Don't exceed that in your goals. You already embedded. It's already there. Just stay dedicated. If you exceed it, phenomenal, okay? But do not alter it, okay? Max, you got your 10. Debbie, you got your 6. Yona, Elise, and Blanca, you got your 12, okay? Anchor that, put it on concrete, write it down, visually look at them, if not on a daily basis, but look at them on a weekly basis, but look at them consistently, because that's going to be your driving force to hit your expectations and your goals this year. Okay, good job, guys. Appreciate the feedback. All right, so let's just do an overview recap. So we talked about the power of the 80-20 principle of time management, right? Regardless of how you see it, from an 80 to a 20 or a 20 to an 80, it's the same component, is that either you do the action and you take the implementation of that action. We also talked about the importance of defining your big rocks, right? Okay, what are your big rocks? What are your big challenges that will have those roadblocks, okay? And we're all going to have those roadblocks, okay? I'll give you an example. If your position, let's just say when things get back to norm, right? And your commitment is to come into the office 3 times out of the week, and you have a routine, right? The routine is from your home to the office. It's the same routine, meaning you take the same street, you leave at the same time or roughly the same time, and it's a consistency on that. But let's just say that one day there's a accident, and now you have to change the trajectory on that. Now you got to alter it, go in a different direction. You're still going to get to the office, but you're just going to go in a different route, because the route that you're accustomed to, it has a roadblock. There was an accident. And that's real estate as well, folks, okay? Real estate is not always going to be the same road standards, meaning that, you can go through the motions, get the listing, open escrow, and then something's going to happen, okay? And I know Yona and Elise can probably resonate this, just because I know of a transaction that they are both in, and some of the challenges and roadblocks that they're dealing with. And that's the same avenue that you're going to also face, folks. I guess, I should say that, we want to get from point A and point B in an efficient way. And that's typically always pretty normal, meaning you're always going to go the same routine, the same route. Because when you have that systematic approach, everything is the same. When you're doing what you need to do, listing appointments, listing agreements, negotiation, everything is all systematic. But there's going to be a time where that roadblock, that accident, where you're going to have to change. And that's what's going to make you better. That's what I call war stories. These are stories that have helped you and enhanced you in your position. Because if everything was smooth and dandy, everything went well, which we all want, and we always desire that, but that's not always the norm. Real estate definitely has its challenges and its obstacles, and it goes back to what I was saying. that real estate is simple but not easy. And this is where I know, like Yona and Elise are feeling these roadblocks. Okay, very excited when they got the listing at a very good price point. You know, and they're looking, oh my gosh, the commission that I'm going to make on this. But when there's hiccups, when there's interruption, when there's a roadblock, that's what puts the strain, the frustration, the emotional roller coaster in our business. And that's what ultimately discourages a lot of people from continuing. It's like, my gosh, is this how real estate is? Is this what I'm going to be facing? Okay, yes and no. Yes and no. You know, you're going to be dealing with so many different people, so many different personalities, so many emotional perspectives that, you know, you want everything to be as crystal clear and as normal as possible, but you're going to have these hiccup, folks. And that's what drives us to do what we need to do. Okay, does that mean we stop? No. That means that we got to alter ourselves, find more business, because you're going to have these hiccups. You're going to have these challenges. You're going to have these obstacles. Okay, and that's where you define your big rocks. What are some of the challenges? How could I have approached this different? What could I have done differently? How could I have navigated this a little different? Okay. We also talked about moving from E to P, right? To achieve high level of success. How do we achieve entrepreneur style to purposeful style? Okay. Remember, the entrepreneur we all have. All of you on this call have that entrepreneurial style. You're already entrepreneurs. You're a CEO. But how do we become purposeful? That's the element that ultimately a lot of us fall short. Okay. How do we exceed and achieve those high level of success? Is again going back to training, education, brainstorming, mastermind, collaborating with one another, listening to audios, reading a book, listening to YouTube motivational people. That's where it's going to really define you and get you to the purposeful aspect of your business. And then, you know, gaining a perspective and you're learning how to control of your time with the purposeful activities, okay? Because as long as you put it in your calendar, folks, it's there and you don't alter it, okay? And that goes to my next level of conversation is, you know, from a business perspective to a personal perspective is everything needs to be on your calendar. You should have it in a color coordinated position is, you know, and if you haven't taken bold, my recommendation, take bold. We are having bold at the end of the month, and I highly encourage each and every one of you to take bold. Why? Bold will give you perspective, will give you accountability, will also give you a trajectory on how to focus on your business, but also how to time block and schedule it on your calendar. They're going to talk about color coordinated activities, meaning that if it's income producing activity, then you put it in green. What is green defined to each and every one of you? For me, green defines money, the netto, euro, right? Money is green, so I would highlight on my calendar that anything that I do that's income producing activity to be in green, meaning if I'm going to spend 2 hours lead generating, I'm going to put it, you know, if it's Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursday to lead generate for 2 hours and make as many connections in those 2 hours. And my dedication is 2 hours from 9 to 11 o'clock in the morning to dedicate Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to lead generate. And just, you know, just picking up the phone. And I know for a lot of us, it's very uncomfortable. It's a little nerve-wracking, but we have to do it. I do it on a daily basis myself. I commit to three times out of the week to pick up the phone and, you know, prospect for agents to join our company. And, you know, it's it's not easy, you know, but I do it and I'm committed to it. And it's really just making the ability to just do it. It's on my calendar. It's on there. I see it. Okay, it's 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock, whatever time frame that I have it. I dedicate myself to do so. No difference than what you need to do in your business as well. Okay, so I encourage you, if you haven't created a calendar, start with a Google Calendar. Okay, that's the best because you can use a Google Calendar to also color coordinate. You know, green for money producing, income producing activities. You know, maybe pink for the ladies, or a different color for the men, you know, for a date night. Okay, date night with a significant other. Put it on the calendar. Vacation, put it on the calendar. Appointments, doctor's appointments, you know, put it on the calendar. Any training events that we have. I know we throw a lot of campaigns at you on a weekly basis. You know, whatever activity or training that you really want to take advantage of, you know, put it in your personal calendar as part of your accountability, but ultimately putting it in calendar will resonate, will be there, and then you don't alter from it. You know, so those are some of the perspective of time management. And you know, and just really setting those expectations and setting those goals for yourself, okay? Because once you know how to manage your time, you're going to be more efficient. You're going to have more time than you didn't think you had. Because I know that all of us sometimes fall a little short. It's like, my gosh, you know, I can't believe it's already 6 o'clock in the evening. What was your day like? What did you do? You know, because sometimes it can drag, and sometimes you can say, my gosh, my day went so fast. It's because you had a lot of activities throughout the day and your day just went boom. Okay, so looking at it from that perspective. Any thoughts or questions regarding that? All right, cool. So let's talk about setting the goals with the accountability. Okay, and this is going back to aiming high, setting SMART goals, discussing the importance of goals and categories, and reviewing how you build those accountability through the process. Okay, everything needs to be a process, because when you have a process, then it's like a conveyor belt, right? A conveyor belt. You know, does everyone know what a conveyor belt is? It's a conveyor like a belt, and it keeps going. It keeps going, keeps going. It's like an elevator or an escalator, right? You want to get to the second floor, you jump on the escalator. What is it going to do? It's going to take you up to the second floor. If you want to get back to the first floor, you're going to take the escalators going down. It's a systematic time, a conveyor belt that ultimately takes you up, takes you down, whatever parameters you want to go. That's the same in your business. There has to be a consistency, because when there's no consistencies, guess what? You're not going to hit those goals and your expectations. Like Max said, Max wants to do 10. Debbie wants to do 6. And the rest of the ladies want to do 12. You know, you have to have a systematic conveyor mindset and the ability to hit those trajectories. Okay. You know, so let's shoot and aim high. Okay, the whole purpose of time management and utilizing your 411, as I mentioned early on. If you don't have your 411, download it through your KW command. You're able to download it, and it gives you a precise action plan on your 411. Okay, so let's explore a couple exercises for today, okay? And this is going based on the aiming high goals and expectations. So what is your someday goal for this business area? So let's explore something here that we can kind of anchor. Now, we talked about your yearly goal, okay? We talked about, what you want to do in units, which doing your calculations based on a price point, I can kind of give you a perspective. So let me go with Max. I'm going to pick on Max. So let's just say that Max, as he mentioned, wants to do 10 transactions, right? 10 units of sale. And his average price point is $750,000. Okay, so at a 2.5%, that's $18,750 in gross GCIs. If you times that by 10 units, that's $187,500. Okay, $187,500. That's equivalent to, an attorney, a doctor salary, okay, or a high paying position in leadership. That's pretty good. That's pretty good income. 10 transactions on 2.5% based on a price point average of 750, Max is going to make 187,500. Now let's do the same calculations for Debbie, which Debbie wants to do 6 units, but her base, her average price point is 550 times 2.5% times 6 units. That gives her 82,500 of GCI, gross income. Okay, 82,000, 6 transactions in 12 months. Okay, and maybe she hits her goals in 6 months. And 6 months from now, she committed to her goals and she hit 6 units. Half of the year, she's already made $82,000. Half of the year. And if that was her goal and she's comfortable with it, then there she is. Okay. But what if she was to double that up and do another 6 transactions the next 6 months? That puts her at $165,000 in 12 months. And again, $165,000 is a good base, because all of us on this call should be making a 6-figure income. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're doing this full-time or part-time. All of us should strive to make a 6-figure income in real estate. Okay. Because part-time, you can do 6 transactions. Part-time, you can do 10 transactions. And I believe that even 12 transactions, doing it part-time, you can still do it, because we have the power of leverage, meaning technology. Okay, we don't necessarily have to physically be there all the time. Everything can be done via text, email, or FaceTime. And a lot of the stuff is streamlined through the email platform, DocuSign, MLS, listings, all that good stuff. So there's no excuses why you cannot make a 6-figure income. It's a very simple component to do. It's just going back to your dedication and your focus for it. Okay. Now let's kind of break it down into segments. So now that we drilled your 1 year, let's notch it up a little bit. What is your 3-year goal? And then we're going to notch it up a little bit more. What is your 5-year goal? Okay. So I'm going to ask all of you just one thing that you want to see in your 3 years from today. So we have already explained in your business, you want unit wise, right? And that'll equivalent to what you can make in commissions. But let's discuss in 3 years. And this could be business and it can also be personal, but I just want one thing that you want to see as a goal in the next 36 months. So we'll start with Blanca. Blanca, what do you want to achieve in 3 years? Personal or business?
Business, I would like to have a 4-unit complex.
Wonderful. Love that. Okay. So in 3 years, Blanca, her goal is to have an investment property. Okay. Is it tangible? Is it realistic? Absolutely. Because that gives her 3 years to dedicate her business and to make $85,000 and puts that money aside for a down payment. So when she's ready in 3 years to buy her income producing investment property, she'll have the down payment to do so. So phenomenal. Good job. All right, Elise, in 3 years, what is your number one goal that you want to do in the next 3 years? Business or personal?
Business. I always interested in business. My goal is to get rental properties, and I'm very always interested in doing rental management. I've done it before, and I'd like to continue that because I really enjoy that. And that is my goal, is to get more properties, rental management, and of course, to be retired early. But at the same time, this will be my other side of the job. That's
Wonderful.
my.
I love it. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
So far, 2 for 2. I love it. Thank you, Elise. Yona, in the next 3 years, what is your goal to do in business or in personal?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with my personal goal. So this year, my goal is to buy my own house. I'm still renting my place, and then I want to get my own house. So I'm working on saving down payments, and after that, in 3 years, I also want to get my investment property and rentals. We are connected with a lot of foreign people, so they are always looking for place to rent. So that is Elise and my goal, is to get a rental place for them.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you for opening up and sharing your personal goals. That's phenomenal. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Okay, Debbie, what is your personal goals or your business goals in the next 3 years?
I'm not really sure. Investment property always sounds good, but I guess I'm working towards being financially independent.
Okay.
That's just the goal that I'd like to achieve.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have a real estate license. That should be one of your bucket lists to have. So thank you, Debbie, for sharing. Max, same question, sir.
For business, I want to hopefully get an investment property. I don't know about that, but
mindset, instead of saying hopefully, okay, because this is goal setting. Instead of saying hopefully, let's just say I will, in the next 3 years, own a real estate investment.
Right.
Okay?
I will in the next 3 years own a real estate investment. I'd love to start a team.
Okay.
And personal. I want to master this thing. Say it's a loop station. So for music, you can build tracks. It's so complicated. I did not know what I was getting into when I bought that, but I just think it'd be such a fun thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's very cool. I really like that. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So we talked about the aiming high. Now let's set the SMART goals, right? Setting the SMART goals. And setting the SMART goals, it's an acronym for S being specific, M for being measurable, A for action-oriented, R for realistic, and then T for time-bound. So going back, and I want you to write this down, folks, okay? If you write it down, setting SMART goals. S for specific, M for measurable, A for action-oriented, R for realistic, and then T for time-bound. Okay, so let's start with the letter S in being specific, being tangible, being precise, and stating your goals. General goals are not compelling. Okay, so let's dive in. You know, the whole purpose of why we do what we do is for the avenue of achieving our personal goals, right? From a personal to a business goal. But you got to definitely be very specific, okay? Being specific will get you the avenue of results, because now it's not too vague. It's not something that, yeah, it's something I want to do, but you know, it's not within hand reach or within a yearly achievement or a three-year achievement. You got to be very specific. Now, with a SMART goal comes, you know, the letter M, which is measurable. Setting goals that are qualifying you, and you need to be able to know your goals to accomplish. Meaning, you know, everything that we do obviously has to be specific, but more so it needs to be measurable. How do we get from A to Z, right? You cannot just leave from A to Z. You have to go A, B, C, D, and then go on to get to the letter Z, okay? Not taking shortcuts, okay? But getting the momentum, like all of us have said. You know, most of us, you know, want to have an investment property. Yona wants to own her own primary home. All of us have our units of goals and expectations, having money in our savings account, being able to pay down or eliminate any debt, credit card, personal loans, student loans, stuff of that nature. You know, those are all avenues, and how you can measure your goals is by setting the expectations and being very specific, but ultimately having them as measurable items of goals. Then the letter A for action oriented. The best goals drive you to take action and do something concrete, okay? It's like anything else. If I was to tell you, you know, Debbie, Max, Yona, Elise, Blanca, you know, I want you to walk on that concrete brick wall, brick sidewalk. You know, you're going to walk in and it's going to be fine. But what if I told you the same question, but now it says there's a quicksand, you know, quicksand. And what's going to happen when you walk in that quicksand, you're going to dip in and eventually you're going to go under, you know, if you know what I'm talking about, quicksand. That's the avenue of action, is how concrete is your goals? How concrete is your expectations? Are these realistic, or are these fantasy things that you don't believe you can do in the next year, in the next 3 years, or in the next 5 years? Now, anything can happen, right? Meaning, you know, anything can happen in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, where let's say you end up playing the lottery. And now you just made, you know, $500,000 in winnings from the lottery, $500 million. That's a good day for all of us, right? You know, but that's not being realistic, all right? There's a high probability that you will not hit all the numbers, okay? Because one, there's a lot of people that are playing the lottery, and you're probably get into an accident before you actually win the lotto. And I'm just being transparent and honest with you, is yeah, play the lotto, because I play the lotto, and hopes that one day, gosh, what if I do hit that 750 million jackpot, and now, you know, I can live comfortably, right? But let's be realistic in our action plan, okay? Yeah, it would be nice, but you know, for a lot of us, we still need to work. We still need to be dedicated to our business. The letter R, realistic. Make your goals realistic. The most empowering goals require a stretch to achieve them. Ask yourself what the probability of accomplishing each goal. Is it a 50-50 chance is best? Neither too difficult or nor too easy, okay? All of us already shared our commitment, our commitment to units. And for me, the units is probably the most concrete goal setting perspective, because I can measure how many units. I cannot measure value, meaning, if you tell me, well, Simon, I want to do 20 million in value. Well, it's unpredictable. Why? Because I don't know if you're going to do 20 units at $1 million to get to 20 million in value, or 500 units and it staggers with 500,000, 700,000. Value is very hard to measure, but you can measure units, because guess what? You close one deal and your 10 is your goal. You're 9 to go. You have 9 more to go. You close another deal, buyer or seller. Now you have 8 more units to close. That's more tangible than it is to do a value. Now, even commission, you can set those goals in your boundaries when it comes to your commission goals to do a 6-figure trajectory, saying, hey, I want to do 150,000 in gross GCI. Now that's still pretty tangible, because now you can calculate based on units that will alter and give you that perspective. As I mentioned, it's a very simple formula, meaning is like Yona was saying, she wants to do 12 transactions, right? And her average price point is 745,000, meaning, most of her business is around that price point of 745. So if you base it on a 2.5% commission, folks, 2.5% commission, that's 18,625 of gross commission. And if her expectations this year in 2021 is to do 12 transactions, you base that on 12 transactions, she just hit her mark. She just did 223,500, meaning she hit the 6-figure income. She's just shy of $250,000 in gross commission. Okay, is that tangible? Yes, it is. That's something that is measurable. It's very specific, and it's also action oriented to get you to that realistic aspect of your goals, your SMART goals. Okay. All of us can do that. 12 units, easy breezy, right? No, it's not. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some strive. It's going to take some momentum. It's going to take the ability to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to take, your ability to, connect with people. Okay, just like connecting the dots, right? You see all these dots. Bing, 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 all these dots, but you don't know what these dots ultimately will be until you start connecting the dots. Remember going to elementary, right? And part of your homework assignment was to connect the dots, right? And ultimately you connect the dots, they'll give you a sentence, and that sentence will leave you with a blank, and then you needed to know what that sentence, but that sentence also was what your connecting the dots is. So if the sentence is, what type of animal is this? And it's a 3-letter word, it can be a cat, it can be a dog, and until you connect the dots, then you'll know what the diagram is. No difference in real estate. You got to know how to connect the dots. Okay, the process is there. The accountability is there. The training, the education is there. Look, this is already the second day of the week. We're on Tuesday, January 5th, and we, already have the momentum going with training and education. And the calendar too, we have more classes, more training for you. Now, I would love to see more participations among all agents. We have a group of about 292 to 93 sales associates. Now, a lot of them are in a different caliber than a lot of us on this call, and that's okay. Not all training is for everyone, Okay, there's going to be a time where you're going to know it's going to connect. It's like, okay, I already know this. I know what I need to do. Now it's really just pushing you, okay, and pushing you to stay committed. You know, like saying, Max, you told me you were going to do 10 units this year. You know, you're at 5. We have 6 months left. What are you going to do to accomplish, exceed those expectations or meet your expectations? That's the level of a lot of agents that are already in a position of experience and understanding. A lot of us on this call are fairly new, okay, haven't done one transaction, and that's perfectly fine. We all have been there. I know for a fact I've been where you're at, folks. Okay, it didn't ultimately give me sales as soon as I got my real estate license. It took months to get, but it took a dedication, it took a scribe, it took momentum, and it took me to continue pressing. And there was times I was uncomfortable. There was times that I was nervous. You know, am I coming across eloquent? Am I saying the right thing? Do they see right through me? Do I make sense? Do I understand my position? Do I know what I'm doing? And a lot of that stuff was going through my head, you know, as I was progressing. But guess what? What I was doing was I was putting education as a priority on my schedule. Because again, I wanted to be an efficient producing agent. I wanted to be an agent that wanted to do sales, just like a lot of our agents here in the office. You have to start somewhere, right? And it starts with education, it starts with commitment, it starts with the ability to hold yourself accountable and pressing forward each and every day, okay? Not press back, but press forward, okay? And sometimes it's out of our comfort zone, but that's okay. That's what you need. You got to get out of your comfort zone. That's when you're going to start seeing the results from it. And then last but not least, time bound. You must have a clear time limit on your deadlines for setting the goals, just like everything, okay? If your commitment is to do, you know, the units of sales this year, you guess what? You have 24 hours in a day, you have 7 days out of the week, you have 30 days in a month, you have 90 days in a quarter, you have 12 months in a year, or you have 365 days, right? So it's there. You know the beginning and you know the end. And it's what's in between. That's the chaos, that's the commitment, that's your work ethics, that's your ability, and that's ultimately going to get you to the category of hitting your goals, okay? Because let's just say that, you know, you had a regular job, a job, right? You know that every day you work 5 days out of the weeks, and you work from, I don't know, 9 to 5, you have 1 hour lunch, 2 10-minute breaks, and you do this on a regular basis, you know. And for a lot of people, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. They are okay. They're comfortable. But here's the thing: you got out of your comfort zone to do something extraordinary, something that gives you more momentum, more money, and more opportunities. And this is why you decided to go independent, be a business owner. And what's such phenomenal leverage with real estate? Because one, the leverage, but more so the amount of money that you can make. Your leverage is phenomenal because one, you don't have large expenses and you still make a pretty decent income. Meaning, if you really think about it, let's say that half of you on this call have restaurants, right? You run a restaurant, and then half of you on this call do real estate. Guess what? Who do you think is going to be more profitable? Okay, you're both given, you know, a certain amount of clientele, right? And you're both given the certain amount of time frame to hit those expectations in your business. But guess what? A real estate agent will be more profitable because you don't have the large overhead, the large expenses, and you still can make profit. I can tell you from my personal experience, one, as I mentioned earlier, one of our agents making $80,000. You think his overhead is in excess to 50% of what he made? No, not even close. Okay. The smart thing, obviously, is to put money aside for marketing, put money aside for his expenses, put money aside for his taxes, put some money aside for investments, stuff of that nature. It should be like a pie. You got to break that commission into a pie and have that money for different perspectives. A salary for you, for taxes, for marketing, for savings, for investments, for tying. If you tie, give back to your community for charities as well. All that, when you break the pie in that perspective, then you know exactly where your money is going. So having a clear, concise time limit. Remember, you have a full 12 months, okay? Even though we're on the 5th day of 2021, you still have consecutively 12 months to achieve your goals, okay? There's no excuses, folks, none whatsoever, not to exceed, I should take it back, not to meet or exceed your expectations, okay? Any thoughts, questions regarding SMART goals? Okay, cool. If no questions, let's go ahead and continue. So part of the goals is a different perspective. Like I said, everyone has their own goals and expectations. I'm going to give you some examples, that we have here on the diagram. So one can be an example of goals, to hire 2 new resources. Okay, maybe hire a buyer specialist, to hire an administrator to help you manage your business. So that's one of the goals that you have is this year is to hire 1 specialist to help you leverage yourself, go out there and, help you with buyers, and you focus on sellers. Okay, maybe as an example, for a lot of us, do 8 listings per month as an example. All of us say you want to do, 12, 6, 10 units. How do we break it down? How do we break it down in quarterlies? We should break it down and not see it as, I got 12 months, but shoot, I got 3 months to hit my first goal, because everything is all a percentage, meaning that in a quarter from now, if your goal is to do 12 transactions, that means 1 transaction per month. By the time we talk in March 30th, you should already have closed 3 transactions. And if you have only closed 2 transactions, then you're at 75% of your goals. You still need one more unit to close to be at 100% of your goals. What if you didn't close any transactions in this last 3 months? Then you're at 0% of your goals. You're going to have to double it up on the second quarter. Now, instead of doing 3 more units, you got to do 6 units. Now the pressure is on you to not just handle the 3 that you already expected, but carry over the 3 that you did not close in the first quarter of 2021. An example of another goal is attend all Keller Williams University training courses, like your bowls, your family reunion, your mega camp, Ignite as an example, and even these curriculums, like time management, which are 411. Some of the examples of goals: recruiting, hire, training, and hiring a buyer specialist. Maybe one of the goals is I want to travel. Okay, maybe you have a specific area that you want to travel. Okay, maybe out of the state of California, within the U.S., or shoot, I want to travel outside of the U.S. I want to go to Canada, South America. I want to go to Mexico, Central America. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to China. I want to go to Singapore. I want to go to Africa, Alaska, wherever. You gotta set those goals. And if your goal is this year to go on a travel You know, put it down, put it as a goal. Okay. Again, part of your goals and expectation is to be more efficient in your business. Okay. Utilize the leverage of command as an example. Okay. Receiving feedbacks, implementing a 33 touch campaign. You know, if you're not adding your database with potential clients, buyers, sellers, or investors, put them into your command platform. Use that as a leverage to send out drip campaigns, because now you can send birthdays, anniversaries, when they close on their first home, bought their first home, sold their first home, whatever the case may be. You know, implement that 33 touch plan. You know, and if you're part of Sonia's productivity coaching, you know, she helps you navigate that through the command platform. Okay. And then, you know, another sample goal here as part of it is, you know, as you get better and more efficient and better at doing your business, you know, having a more systematic conveyor belt mindset ability. Because once you have it, it's like if you talk to some of the top producers and mega agents, they're all going to tell you the same thing. We have a system, we have a system, and we have a system. Okay. And having that system, it's the same routine. Okay. It's like if your goal is to do 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 100 crunches. Okay. There's going to be a point in time where that 100 is going to be easy to do. In the beginning, it's going to be tough. You may only do 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, 5 crunches. But the more you do, the better you get at it. The more you consistently do it, the easier it is to reach those goals. No different in your business, okay? The more you're out there connecting with buyers, sellers, the better you're going to get. Yeah, you're going to be frustrated. There's going to be times where you're hitting these walls, these obstacles, these challenges, these roadblocks, but stay consistent. Don't alter. Just keep pressing away. Today, shoot, I was only able to do 12 push-ups. Tomorrow you can do 15. And then the following day you go back and only do 9. That's okay. Keep pressing forward. Okay. Using your goals and your categories. Okay. So the mindset of a mega agent is as follows. Okay. I want you to write this down, folks, okay, because this is very important to have. So the mindset of a mega agent follows a very systematic ability and approach. Is they look at matrix, they look at their position, no different than what you were setting your goals and your expectations today, right? I want to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, how do we do that? How do we measure that? How do we take the initiative action to get to what we need to do? Well, there has to be, in between those, there has to be avenues of pushing and exceeding. But here's what the categories of a mega agent follow in their business plan. One is that you have to have leads. Okay, without leads, unfortunately, there's no business, which leads no business, which leads to no income. Number 2, you have to have listings. Okay, listings is what drives and also is the avenue of the local expert. If you are a listing machine, you are what a lot are considered a local expert. Look at some of the top mega agents, and you know who they are, you know, because you see their signs, you see them in the MLS, and you say, my gosh, you know, this listing agent has 15 listings, 12 listings, and more as the year progresses. Number 3, you have to write more contracts. Okay, writing contracts. Without leads, without listings, you know, it's one portion of your business, but also writing contracts. The more you write, the more opportunities you'll be. It's like anything else, folks. The more conversations you have, the more opportunities are going to be. The more offers you submit, eventually one of these offers is going to be accepted. It's like anything, you know, the goal is that if you represent a buyer, right, and you're out there submitting offers and your offers are getting outbid, you're not getting your offers accepted, it's frustrating. How do you think outside of the box to help you lock in that acceptance and get your offer into escrow? Is knowing how to strategize, how to write an effective offer. Okay. Number 4, with all those components of leads, listings, contracts written, also contracts closed. Okay. For every closed transaction, every unit that you close, okay, that's one item closer to your expectations. A mega agent's mindset also drives them with money, right? Money is what we all strive, because money supplements and provides us with our lifestyle. The vehicle that you want, the area you want to live, the lifestyle that you want and desire comes down to money. Without money, unfortunately, you're at a standstill, you're at a pause, you cannot move forward. So you have to have that as part of your arsenal, is the leads, the listings, the contracts written, the contracts closed, that ultimately leads to the income that comes from it. Number 6, people. Okay, people is part of your arsenal of the 8 categories is people. The more interaction, the more connections you have with people, the more opportunities, the more doors will open. Okay, because I can tell you, even as a team leader, I have my moments of frustration. I make calls, I make calls, and I make calls, for commitments, for appointments to come in and talk to me about opportunities to join our company. And, I get a lot of yes, 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 but then the commitment doesn't show up. The commitment of their appointment, they don't show up to the appointment. And now I'm doing follow-up. Is what happened? What's going on? And, that can be very frustrating. That's also in our position too. We make all these calls, we get excited. There's a commitment from a buyer. Yeah, I want to work with you, Max. Yeah, I want to work with you, Sarah. And then they go completely radio silence. And now you're scrambling. It's like, what happened? Why isn't this client not reaching out to us? Or a seller too. It goes both ways, buyers and sellers, and there's radio silence. They're not calling you. They're not texting you. They're not emailing you. But at the end of the day, you just got to continue going after more and more business. Okay. You cannot just stop with one buyer, one seller and think, oh my gosh, I got to service, nurture this only client. You know what? You continue. If they're in agreement and they're in position to continue in your guidance and your expertise and your professionalism, then you continue with them. If they pause, okay, they pause, you do your commitments and your follow-ups. But if there's still pause in them, all right, you got to move on. You got to put them on the side burner, still cater to them and be there in the mind, but you got to go after more business. Number 7, you have to have systems and tools, okay? I cannot stress the facts, folks. You have the systems, you have the tools, okay? What are the tools? Just like I've stressed and I've always mentioned, a firefighter cannot do their job without the proper tools, right? Can a firefighter put out a fire without a water? No. Without a hose? No. Without the proper equipment? No. They need the proper equipment to be effective and efficient in their position. No difference than a police officer, a pilot, a doctor, a contractor, a teacher, a real estate agent. Okay, you have the tools, you have the systems. There is no excuses, but that's the mindset of a mega agent. Is all these parameters and categories is what they become, top mega agents. And then obviously the last one is education, okay? Education, and I commend each and every one of you for dedicating your time today to being on this call. I know 3 hours is a long time. It's like, my gosh, it's a Zoom fatigue, right? But I appreciate each and every one of you for staying dedicated and being devoted to your business and striving to exceed your expectations. And I know the more you pour into your training, the better you're going to get. There's going to be a time, folks, that you gotta cut that umbilical cord, okay, where you got to go out there and just do it, okay. It's just like a bird for the first time. It has been nurtured by the parents. It's been fed by the parents, but there's going to be a time where that bird is going to have to fly and expand their wings and go out there. That is you, folks, okay? The training will be here. You can always go back and refer to your training, but there's going to be a time where we have to expose our wings and fly, okay? You all are eagles in my eyes, okay? You are eagles. You have, and you will graduate the educational platform. The next step is now, let's go make some money. So those are the 8 components of the 8 core categories from a mega agent. We're almost done, folks. I know I have less than 30 minutes. I'm trying to get through most of the content. You know, again, thank you for hanging in there with me. Now let's talk about the accountability process, okay? We talked about setting the goals, doing the activities, measuring your results, evaluating the process, and then making adjustments. You know, because throughout your career, you're going to make adjustments. That's just part of our nature, okay? In business, nothing is set in stone. Even though there's systems and there's a process, you're going to still make adjustments, okay? That's just given. Okay, we want it to go as smooth as possible, but there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be alterations. There's going to be roadblocks, and that's okay. Is like if there's a wall in front of you, what do? Do you stand there and look at the wall, or you find an avenue of solution? Okay, there's options here. What are the options? You got a wall in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you're going to sit there for years and years and say, you know what? I have a license, but you know, real estate is not doing anything for me. Okay, that's not the right mindset. Okay, the right mindset is, okay, I have an obstacle. I have a wall in front of me. I can either go left, I can go right, I can go up, or shoot, I'm going to go underneath this wall. Okay, or you go right through it. Break that darn wall and break through your commitments. Okay, don't just stand still and let your license lapse. Okay, you all are achievers. You're all committers to your business. Commit to it. Stay focused, stay dedicated. It's a phenomenal career to be in. Okay, take the initiative approach, but remember, there's always going to be some adjustments to your business. Okay, any thoughts or questions regarding that? Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about the 411 and the elements and the format of the worksheet, okay? Now, if you don't have the 411 action, part of your homework assignment is to get your 411. As I mentioned, go to your KW command and you can download the actual PDF file of it and then put it in perspective. Print it, write it, type it, whatever the case may be. But what I love, excuse me, what I love about the 411 is the elements of your goals. My annual goals, and it's going to say your annual goals, and then on the right you can put, you know, 2021. And my annual goals can be your job, your business, your personal finance, you know, and just your personal stuff without the finance. So the categories is whatever you choose to put. Then those annuals, you break it down into your monthly goals, okay? What is your job goals on an annual basis? Now you break it down into your monthly. What is your business goals for the annual? You break it down into monthly goals. And then you break it down even more to, okay, if your commitment is this year to do X, Y, and Z, my commitment on a monthly basis to get to X, Y, and Z, but then my follow-up achievement is my weekly activities, because whatever you do on your weekly basis will ultimately show up on your monthly and will show up on your quarterly, and then eventually will in the annual goals, okay? Your goals have to be committed and physically, visually see it there, okay? Once you write it down, you're dedicated to it. Don't alter it, okay? Whatever it is, don't alter it. Okay, can you add to it? Absolutely, but do not take away from it, okay? So I need a commitment from all of you is to do your 411 and then build those expectations, because believe me when I say this, when it's in writing, it comes into existence. When it's not in writing, it will never come into existence. So when you see it, when it's tangible, then that's when you'll start seeing the momentum in your business, okay? And, you know, breaking down your annual goals, all right, from your job. Let's say you have a job, and then your business. What would you do on your business? Build a team, build the income, build the infrastructure of what you want your business to look like. Your personal finances, you know, improving your desire, building your net worth, reducing liability, increasing investments. As much as many of you have said, increasing assets, you know, for a lot of us, you know, it's real estate, right? But what about if you have a hobby, as an example, you know, and a hobby can be many things, you know, a hobby can be buying exotic cars, buying classic cars, you know, buying boats, maybe it's mountain bikes, motorcycles, you know, or investments in high-end watches, such as Rolex watches, you know, as an example, and that can be a hobby. But how do you supplement your hobby? I think of Jay Leno. I don't know if you guys know who Jay Leno, but Jay Leno was a late night talk host. He would come out, I think, at 11 o'clock. He retired. But now he has Jay Leno's Garage. And if you know Jay Leno, he has all these phenomenal classic vehicles. I mean, he has literally invested a lot of his money that he made in late night talk host. You know, he made his money in investing in a warehouse, which is a large garage that houses all these exotic classic vehicles. So if you go on YouTube, you can actually see, just type in Jay Leno's Garage, and he has like 30-minute segments of a particular vehicle that he talks about, and he has such a passion for it that he'll say, well, this is a 1965 Chevy Corvette Stingray, and then he'll tell you a little bit about the backstory of the vehicle, any modifications. Then he'll take you on a ride. You can hear it start up. He'll let you see the engine, and then he goes on a ride out in the valley, just to kind of hear his perspective of the vehicles that he owns or he garages. You know, and again, you know, all of us, you know, we strive and we work hard, but we also need to have a hobby, you know, because work is great, but also the mind needs relaxations. They need time off to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And that goes through vacation, spending time with the family, the significant other, hobbies, as an example. You know, hobbies can be different from Max and Sarah and Yona and Elise and Debbie and Blanca and me, Simon. We may have different hobbies that we like to do, but something to relax the mind, to take the mind from always business, because you need to have a balance in life, okay? So those are some of the stuff that you should implement in your 411, you know, asking the what, asking the how, and asking the when. So those are the three. Ask the what, okay? What is it that you want to accomplish? How are you going to achieve those goals? And then when? How soon do I need to get these goals done? Okay. All of us share, and thank you so much for sharing your goals. I know sometimes it's not easy to get out of your comfort zone and share our own personal goals, okay, from a business and then also from a personal. But you know, I appreciate you guys for committing to at least providing us with some business goals and obviously personal goals. But those are some of the examples that you can put on your 411 is, staying committed to those goals, okay? What, how, and when. What, how, and when, okay? And going back to the SMART plan, right? The SMART, the acronym, as, be specific, be measurable, okay? And take the initiative action to set those expectations. And then when we have this conversation, it's going to be there. It's going to come to fruition. It's what they call it. Where you're going to be looking back and reflecting. It's like, my gosh, I committed to my goals. I dedicated to my goals, and I put it in my 411. And now that I reflect, I have accomplished. Either I have exceeded my expectations. And you're going to surprise yourself, okay? And that's the beauty of being in the mindset of an entrepreneur is the vision. You're the visionary of your own organization. You are the vision of your enterprise, okay? Write it down, put it into action, okay? How do you create the elements of your 411? Consider, your 20% and select one of your big rocks as an exercise. Working on your 411 goal action and then just writing it down, defining your annual, your monthly, and your weekly goals, and really hitting your big challenges, your big whys. And then obviously wiring the mindset of the SMART acronyms, okay? And the beauty is you do not take away, but you can add into your goals, okay? Because things happen. Shoot, what if you hit your goals in 3 months and now, what you thought was going to be a yearly goal, now you just exceeded that in your first quarter, okay? You can add into your goals, okay? So that's the beauty. Add, but do not take away from your goals. Whatever you put, that is concrete already. That is drilled in for this year. Don't take away from it, but you can add to your goals, okay? Any thoughts, questions? Okay, so in the bigger picture is, really define your 411 and then ultimately polish it, okay? It's just like a vehicle, right? If you have a classic vehicle, right, and it's an investment, and that investment, in 5-10 years will increase in value. What do you need to do to make sure that that value holds its value? Oh, you got to do a lot. You got to maintain that car. You got to clean it. You got to polish it, right? Because that's what's going to give you the big return on your investment 5, 20 years from now if you decide to sell it. No difference in your business, okay? You got to polish yourself, okay? We all start new. We all start with the basic understanding, but it's taking that action and really defining your ability and polishing your skill set, okay, to be that phenomenal, confident entrepreneur that I see in each and every one of you, okay? You got to polish yourself all the time, okay? It's like a spit shining your shoe, for the men, having a dress shoe that is really polished, really clean, okay? Your real estate skill set has to also be polished. If you're going with an opportunity, if I gave each and every one of you an opportunity to go on a $10 million listing, and I think I mentioned this in the past, how polished are you to take the listing? Are you really polished that you are confident that you will lock in and leave that listing consultation appointment with a locked in listing agreement in place, signed and executed by the seller? Or was there a hiccup, or is there something that you did not penetrate with the seller? And that's the key, is really polishing your goals, okay? Polish it, be measurable, and staying dedicated to it, okay? Now let's quickly talk about, the time blocking aspect of it. All right. So time blocking, okay, is a key success to your business. Be purposeful about the items that you list on your calendar, okay? So as I mentioned early in the beginning of the morning, is everything should be with an intent, okay? Time block, time management, and inputting it into your calendar. You should be looking at your calendar on a daily basis. If you need to do some tweaks, some adjustments, which does happen, always update it consistently, because that's going to give you the ability to be more efficient in your daily activities, your weekly activities, and your goals and expectation. Okay. Be thorough with your time blocking and your activities as you put into your calendar. As an example, things that you feel that are compelling to your business that will help you achieve next level of value and income, put it on your calendar. Any type of educational training, masterminds, brainstorming segments, whatever the case may be. Tomorrow's a prime example. Stay committed. First team meeting for the year is tomorrow. We have our mastermind book club tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to launch Rocket Fuel as the book for this topic. Staying devoted, because anything that can help you experience excitement and empowers you, it'll help you with your goals and expectations, okay? Because I definitely get encouraged and inspired by people that are high-level achievers, and I want to strive to be in that category, in that level, because I also have my challenges as well. We're all humans. We're all striving for the same. Our goals are different, but we all have the same mindset that we want to achieve bigger and better things. Be diligent about allowing a specific time block, and don't alter it. Don't let anyone interrupt. If you are time blocking for lead generating, and you say, I'm going to time block 1 hour 3 times out of the week, stay devoted. And if it's from 9 to 10 o'clock, don't let any interruptions, meaning don't let anyone interrupt you during that time frame that you time block for a specific component of your business. Okay, don't alter it. If something dramatically changes, of course, but if you're consistent, and that's where you see the mega agents have consistency in their business, and this is why they get more listings, more escrows, more money, is because they do not alter their calendar. Okay, if you're committed, stay committed. Also, for the ones that have significant others, okay, I stress the fact, husbands, wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever the case may be. You also want to put some time block as well. If your commitment is, once or twice a month to do something special with that significant other, time block it, put it aside, and say, in February, over the weekend, we're going to go to Catalina Island as an example. Put it on the calendar, put it as a time block. That's your time with that significant other. Also, no difference in your business. Okay. And going back to, don't erase what's on your time block, modify it, add to it, but don't erase it, because you want to keep track of your trend. Okay. Because when I go back and I look at all my activities that I've done on my calendar, from year in to year out, it gives me a gauge of the activities that I've done. Oh gosh, I remember doing that. Maybe I can implement it into my business this year, or maybe I can tweak it this year and be more purposeful in it. And that's what's going to help you develop a mindset of a very diligent, time blocking entrepreneur. So keep that in mind. And then be consistent and setting the right habits. Setting the right habits, okay? But it boils down to having a consistent, and that gives you good habits. You know, and in the time block, the beauty of Google Calendar, it really helps you with, you know, the date, color coordinations, but it also gives you times, you know. So if the morning, your morning starts at 8 o'clock, you know, to be at the office from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is lead generating, making calls, hitting for sale by owners, hitting expired listings, hitting your sphere of influence, hitting past clients, hitting your database, speaking with family members and asking for business. You're dedicated and you put into your time block the time frame that you're going to be. And then time for lunch, time to do your follow-up, okay? It should always be lead generation, break for lunch, follow-up, set appointments. And that should be a routine every week. And sometimes it's not easy. It's like, oh my gosh, this is frustrating, okay? But at the end result, when you're closing transactions, it's going to give you a high. It's going to give you an excitement because it's showing you that your hard work, your dedication is paying off, okay? And it may take more attempts. It may take more commitment, but don't alter it and don't give up. Do not give up, okay? That's how you're going to maximize your productivity, is by dedicating your scheduling and setting your expectations and your goals. Remember, all of us have goals here. The ones that want to do 12 units, the ones that want to do 10 and 6 units, that's embedded, that is set in stone. Do not alter, just do it. And, you know, part of your time management and your time blocking is, you know, don't alter it, right? And don't just let anyone interfere with your time. Give you a prime example. Bob Wallach is an efficient machine. You know, he comes in, he's dedicated, comes into the office, and he's on the phone making his calls. And he gets a lot of hangups. He gets a lot of people upset at him. But he continues doing it on a daily basis. He's committed to it. And he's at that position where it doesn't get into his head anymore. He's an efficient mindset that this is what he needs to do to not just support him, but his family. The livelihood depends on how many calls, how many connections, how many appointments, how many listings, how many buyers, and ultimately how many units of sales and income he can make. You know, and for him, it's a habit. For him, it's the ability to not alter and stay dedicated and stay committed. Okay. Any thoughts and questions? All right. The final in the time management segue. Okay, and I thank you for staying committed. The final is obviously putting everything together, okay? And this should finalize our segment today, and I definitely appreciate you all. So let's put it all together. Reviewing your millionaire mindset energy planning parameters. We want to put everything into perspective. Like I said, inputting everything in writing. Creating the platform by putting your 411 together, and just having that mentality, folks, okay? Have that mentality that you are a razor sharp listing buyer machine, okay? You are. And if you use it as an affirmation, I am a listing machine, I am going to change someone's trajectory today because I will help them buy their home, buy their investment. If you embed that and you tell yourself that, it will come, it will happen. okay? And that's really the perspective of why we do what we do, is because if you don't do anything, nothing will happen, no results would happen. Any little momentum, and they can be baby steps, okay? I'm not telling you to take big leaps, baby steps that'll progress and ultimately get you to where you need to be. And ladies and gentlemen, and at the end of the 12 months, you know, you did not hit your goals and you were shy of your goals and you devoted to do 12 units, but you ended up doing 7 units, it's still a good year. Why? Is because you did 7 units more than your competitors did 0 transactions. Okay, so keep mindful of your vision, be mindful of your position, and take the action every day. Every day is, who can I help today? Who can I put into escrow today? Who can I close on today? Having that mindset, having that ability to just psych your position will give you the opportunity to open up more money in your pocket. So what did we learn today? Well, we learned a lot through the 5 segments of time management. We talked about gain perspective and taking control, right? We talked about setting goals with accountability. We talked about creating your 411, but we also talked about implementing your 411 and then obviously putting it all together. Focus on what matters and applying the principles to it, identifying your big rocks, change how you operate. Remember, we talked about the E to P, right? Entrepreneurial to purposeful. And then we set the boundaries of aiming high, setting the SMART goals, right? Be specific. It has to be measurable, taking action. Use your goal categories, okay? Remember the goal categories of your 411, be very specific. And then the elements of your 411, your yearly, your monthly, your weekly, your daily habits need to be in perspective, because that's going to put you in and give you that perspective of your goals and your expectations this year. And then, obviously time blocking, right? Business time blocking, personal time blocking, maximizing productivity, okay? Are you really maximizing your efficiency? Remember I said in the beginning, we all have 24 hours, right? No one has 25, no one has 36 hours. We all have 24 hours in a day. How you do your 24 hours is the end result, okay? Do you want to have the mindset of a phenomenal agent, crushing it, making a 6-figure income? Yeah, we all should strive for that, okay? So how you commit on your 24-hour is very important. Stay committed, stay dedicated, and take the initiative action. Okay, and then obviously, the last but not least is, the millionaire mindset by implementing the plan in action. We already have it. We know what we need to do. You have 12 months, 4 quarters, 360 days left on the calendar year. So there's no excuses whatsoever. Okay, be learning based. Okay, take the initiative to take classes and learn. But there's going to be a time where we have to, cut that umbilical cord, right? And now, you have all the arsenal, you have all the tools, you have everything that you need. Now let's take it into practice and go practice. It's no different than a doctor, right? You go to medical school, then you become what do they call them? An intern for a couple of years. You shadow someone before now you do it on your own, where now it's all on you. All the training, all the educations, all the mentoring that you were involved as a young doctor, now you have to do your first open heart surgery, replace a artery, because it's blocked or it's damaged. And you have the ability with all the training and tools to now open up someone's chest cavity, move their ribs and get into their heart and replace that valve. But, you know, their life is on you, you know, and there may be a 50-50 chance that that person will survive this particular surgery. But, you know, the pressure is on you to make it happen, right? That the procedure is done correctly. The team is there to support you. The knowledge and training that you had throughout the years to get you to that final level where you now have someone that is relying on you, your expertise, your knowledge, your experience to be able to do a successful procedure and have this person survive the procedure and have, you know, a remaining of their life to spend with their family. Now, I know it was a little bit visual on that, but it's no difference than the pilot too, right? You know, you become a pilot through training and going up and getting the trainer to take you on more and more solo flights. Eventually, you'll become the captain and the commanding pilot that will take control of that plane. Eventually, you have to clip those wings and do it on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the same for real estate, okay? There's going to be a time where you got to take the initiative and just go out there and just do it. Will you make mistakes? Yes, you will make mistakes. Will you have obstacles? Yes, you will have obstacles. Will you have challenges? Yes, you will. But here's the thing. You pick yourself, you dust yourself, and you continue pressing forward, okay? That is the commitment that I need from all of you on this call, is stay dedicated, stay involved, and whatever things come your way, whatever obstacles, whatever roadblocks, you stay dedicated, okay? Don't give up. You're not a quitter. You're not going to quit. You've got 12 months to do what you need to do. Let's take the initiative and have that mindset, and let's be learning based and take action, okay? With that, that's it, folks. I am done. My throat is done. All right, so any ahas? Anything you guys like to share? Anything that you got out of this curriculum today?
I did. I have all this notes that I've got, and I'm gonna be looking at this every day and go back to it. It really inspires me, and it gives me motivation more and more. You know, I know there will be some challenges, but you know, I'm ready for that. I'm so ready. You know, I chose this career and I want to go for it.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Anyone else?
Yes, I might have also like, okay, what I really liked was that right now we're still like in the middle of like this pandemic, but vaccines are coming like around the corner, and then everybody will get back to like busy life that we used to, you know, have, all of us. So having really like your schedule, like knowing your schedule, what you're gonna do each hour, is gonna be really, really important. And right now is the time that's we still have time to like train ourselves, because once we are gonna be busy again, like having that schedule is gonna be so important, so we can achieve a lot of things. So thank you for reminding us to get this like schedule done as soon as possible, so that we can continue to do a lot of things when we are going to get back to our normal life.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yona. Yeah, remember the categories, as I mentioned, you know, remember the 8 levels of a mega agent. Remember I said it's about leads, it's about listings, it's about contracts written, it's about closed contracts closed, it's about money, it's about people, it's about systems and tools. And then the last is education, okay? Because even the high top producing agents need education, because they'll pick up, even though they know the system, they know what they need to do, they have their accountability, and they have their business plan and their time block and their schedule on their calendar, but sometimes they still need a little bit of ideas, different avenues on how to approach their business. Even though they go through training, they may pick up one little nugget that will give them a different perspective in how they can approach their business. Because we should all shoot for the stars every single time. You know, this year is 12, maybe next year in 2022 will be 24, 36, 50, 100 closed transactions. Okay, don't set the bar very low, set them high. But it has to also be very measurable too, okay? Set realistic goals and stay dedicated to it. So thank you, Yona, for sharing that. One more, anyone else?
It's just really motivated me to put everything visually. That's gonna help so much.
I see your wall right there, Max, and I see your calendar. You got the calendar, and I know that's a calendar that probably Sonia had provided you with or told you to get. That's good, because that gives you a good projection of all the months that we have, you know, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, okay? So the time management aspect of it is really just putting it on the calendar. So stay focused to it and stay excited, folks, okay? This is a fun career. If you take it too serious, then that's where you're going to have the frustrations. You know, you got to just have a mindset of being calm and collect. And you know, if one deal doesn't go through, that's okay. Go find another one and another one and another one. So I'll end with that. And you know, thank you for allowing me to spend, you know, some time with you to just give you my perspective of time management. I am here for you. I am dedicated to each and every one of your goals and your expectations. Stay dedicated, stay focused mentally, physically, and spiritually. And let's go make some money, folks, okay? I know what real estate can provide. And it's an exciting time and an exciting time frame to be. Even though we're dealing with the pandemic, it's okay. You know, we modify, we alter, we do what we need to do, and we're still considered essential, meaning that we can still make money. Okay, so there's no excuses, none whatsoever. Okay, it's your choice. You're either part of the team or you're part of not the team. Okay, I choose to be part of the team, and I believe that all of you on the call are also part of the team. Okay, so stay committed. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you, and let's do this. Okay, just to recap, tomorrow we have our team meeting, 12 o'clock. I have my mastermind book club at 9 o'clock in the morning. Love to see you on the call. I know that the calendar we have merged with other market centers too, which gives you more opportunities to be learning based. So take full advantage of everything that we have, okay, from my perspective, from Sonia's perspective, from the broker, from the other team leaders, okay? We're all collaborating and we're all here for you, okay? So let's do this. Got it? Awesome. All right, have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you on the next call. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
That
Simon.
was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
Simon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Good day.
Bye.